Now, I ain't gonna lie, man. This joker sound way more punchier. Sound like he got way more authority with these goddamn Slapz audio. Of course, they are a couple steps above the Hyankers I just had. But y'all, oh my God, man. Like, the Slapz, bro, the authority and the punch that I'm getting out these Slapz compared to the Hyankers. But, like, the video ain't gonna do it.
Ever since my eyes met the world, I was breaking through the chains like a match to a flame. I was born against the grain. Oh
yeah.
They say I'm broken in the brain, got a shot of kerosene in my veins. But hey, they better be concerned now, cause it's my turn, and I'm only getting hotter. Take a step back or you might get burned, cause I'm a fire starter. From the trenches and the fumes, got defiance in my bones to the soles of my shoes. And I got a thirst for breaking the rules. You can try me, but I got a short fuse. But hey, they better be concerned now, cause it's my turn, and I'm only getting hotter. Take a step back or you might get burned, cause I'm a fire starter. Ever since my eyes met the world, born against the brain. Take a step back or you might get burned, cause I'm a fire starter. I'm a fire starter. Look out for my flames, baby, cause I'm dangerous. I am a fire starter.
What's up, people? How's everybody doing this fine Friday night? All us old folks, we ain't out, raising hell and partying. We're all at home kicking back, saving the tacos for later and stuff, Oh, did you guys see? I'm going to show you again, just in case you hadn't showed up. So, just in case y'all hadn't showed up. I'm going to let a few more people show up before I play it again. But, Ruthless Ronnie, the mechanic. Hello, Ruthless Ronnie. Nice to see you here tonight. Play it and live it. Hello, and hello to you too. Nice to see you guys. And of course, El Fuego is always in the house from the Pacific Northwest. I didn't make the Andy show Tuesday, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I was working on something, and I had like 3 different irons in the fire, and I had it set up to play and everything. It was all ready, and I totally missed it. I joined the show like a minute or two after he ended it. It was sad. I apologize for that. I just had so much crap in my brain and in my workspace at that moment, and it completely slipped by me. I didn't have any. There's no alert that pops up, right? When you're working on stuff. I had all this full screen action going on. I was working on a couple of songs. I was working on video, getting it uploaded, and I was working on some design stuff. I was helping another guy, one of the subscribers on a build. I was answering comments. Oh man, that's a full time freaking job right there, answering comments. Um, that can take up all of the space. Um, so let's pull in a little video clip from, or a clip of a video from Base Attic 91. He just got his Slapz system plan. He's got 4 Slapz 15 Oblivions in there, and he just got that thing planned. And I want to go over here and play that video for you guys. So hang tight just 1 second here. Go back to about right. Yeah.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, man. This joker sound way more punchier. Sound like he got way more authority with these goddamn Slapz audio. Of course, they are a couple steps above the Hyankas I just had. But y'all, oh my God, man. Like, the Slapz, bro, the authority and the punch that I'm getting out these Slapz compared to the Hyankas. But, like, the video ain't gonna do it no justice. At a certain volume, the phone is definitely gonna distort. But, bro, it got that punching deep bass. Like, every time the bass hit, you can hear it in the video. Every time the bass hit, it's like somebody hitting you in your chest like that. And then I got more volume to go, y'all. I'm not gonna count. I'm kind of scared to turn the motherfucker on up. I'm not gonna lie.
I love this guy, man. Base Attic 91 is awesome. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, you need to look it up. You can watch the full video there. He's went through a lot of issues with his batteries, trying to get that sorted out. Had some, I don't know, he messed around and figured out a way to let them go dead. Oh yeah, and El Fuego, Bobby's still milking the goats. Yeah, probably is, man. He's a goat milking fool, that guy. He asked me earlier when I was going on, and I give him a vague time, and he's probably just slacking. I ain't worried about it. He'll show up. Franco Quade's in the house. What's up, Franco Quade? Stu at Stu's Custom Shop. What's up, man? Good evening to you too. So we're going to talk a little bit about Slapz audio. Guys, I've been punishing these things for the entire season, and they just keep giving. Tomorrow we got a show at 10 o'clock in the morning out at the food. I forget what they call that damn place, but it's here in Springfield, Missouri. It's an area by there's a service shop there, like a mechanic shop there, and and they have a big huge lot beside that shop, and they set up all these different food vendors will set up vendor little grease wagons, the little vendor things for food. There's like 5 or 6 of them out there, and people will come by, they get off work and stuff, and they'll swing by there and grab some food, kind of pull through, and it's almost like a drive-through kind of a situation. Well, we set up out there, and been up there for a couple times now, and it's been a pretty good show. Have a lot of fun there. Tyler Walker said, I can't wait for tomorrow's show. What's up, Tyler? Yeah, no kidding, man. It's going to be great. Mike Hare is in the house. Good evening to you too. Stu said, and we're live. Man, I want to tell you guys, you've never done this, what I do. It's a different experience than anything else. I mean, it's bad enough whenever you go on camera, because when you go on camera, you got the thing set up, you do the shots and stuff, and then you can go through and you can edit it out and you can fix it and you can take out all your scripts and all your ums and uhs and wells and all that crap, and then you make yourself look like you're not a complete idiot, right? Well, when you're live, none of that shit's an option, man. You're just a full-blown, on-fire, on-stage idiot. And whatever you do is just how that shit's going to go down. Period. There's no fixing your stupid. It's all on display. Well, that creates a bit of stage fright. It's kind of funny, I can do on stage presentations I've done up in front of people and stuff. Um, a lot of people have like they completely shut down when you put them in front of a crowd. They just lock up. It's like I just don't even know how to do this. I don't lock up, but I do feel that in my gut, that butterfly thing. I get that every single time. It's always been there. Um, but I'm kind of a natural at being able to work in front of a group, so that helps. But in this case, it's kind of weird because you guys aren't here, and the way a comedian or anybody else who's doing public presentations works is you're looking at the crowd and you're basing what you do off of how the crowd is reacting to what the hell you just did, right? So you use that energy from the crowd to fuel your momentum, and and that's a whole different element of the space. Is having the crowd inject energy back into you that you can redirect back to them. On a live stream, though, you don't get that either. So not only can you not edit stuff out, but you also don't get that feedback from the crowd, that energy that comes back. But the plus side is, of course, you guys can leave comments, and your comments is what I base everything off of because that's how the energy is flowing. So that's the only feedback I get is whenever you guys comment in the stream. Um, Everything else, I'm just having to kind of just roll with it. Let's see here. Mike Hare, good evening, man. And Tyler and Franco Quaid, like a farmer's market. Yeah, not exactly. It's just a whole bunch of food trucks, is what it is. It's not a farmer's market. That's not the accurate thing. It's a bunch of food trucks. There's a taco truck, and that taco truck, oh my God, that Mexican food truck is so good. It's delicious. Expensive as hell. But wow, boy, when they make a burrito, you order a burrito, you don't order two. No, 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 no. No matter how much you think you're hungry enough for two, you just get one because that sucker is a slab of freaking food. Um, yeah, that Mexican truck is badass. Um, Stu said I couldn't do it. I'm an introvert, man. Um, yeah, no, you probably lock up, man. Jay Shipes, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too, man. Fuego said, what's the difference between the Slapz SCD 5K.1 and the SOC 5.1? Is one half bridge, another full bridge? Andy ain't kicking it. No, Andy is not on Fridays yet. He's going to be doing that toward the end of the summer, I think. Let me go over here and look because I can't remember. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's take you guys for the ride. I'll put this back up for a second, and I'm going to switch him off for here and do this. So we'll go over to Slapz in the amplifier section. You're asking about the 5K. This guy right here versus the 5K, the Shock 5K, which is this guy. Well, for one, these models are originally this was the models that Slapz had. So the 5K of the Shock line came along later, and it was basically it's kind of a revision to these, if you will. Let's see here, but I think it is also a full bridge. I could be wrong about that. I don't know as far as that question goes. Is there any reviews on this? Just a couple. Yeah, there's some reviews. They're not going to be very helpful, though, unfortunately. Um, so, but yeah, I think it's a half bridge amp. It pretty much has to be because they're fairly small, relatively small. Just basing off of, you can usually get a pretty good judgment about an amp size based off of something that's common, like these alt gauge terminals down here. So you're looking at, probably 3 inches tall. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's not a huge amp, but it's not tiny. I don't know. I really like them. I've always liked the way they look. But I did the 8K. I think I don't, or the Shock 8K. I was looking at originally, and I know I'm just rambling here, so bear with me. I was originally going to get the Shock 5K. These right here. This is what I was going to put in the Tahoe. I was going to do, because I was running 4 subs, I was going to run 2 of these. And whenever I mentioned that, he said you'd be better off running one of the 8Ks, and for 4 subs. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's how that went. That was the simple. The conversation just went there, and that was the end of it. So yeah, it's this basically. These are the original models. You have the 2K.1, the 3K.1, and the 5K.1, and then the 3K.1 and these 3 amps right here and this amp all came along as the second kind of a revision 2 of the originals. This guy here, I think, was also a member of this gang, but that's what I gather. I didn't. I wasn't associated with Slapz at that time, so I don't remember. But it is what it is. Hopefully that answered the best of my ability. I answered your question because I don't know the answer, but I'm trying to give you the most I possibly can. If we go, PSC said, yeah, he said, yeah, man, that's true. Yeah, he's not doing it right now. Member for 7 months. Hell yeah, man, you're awesome. Yep, we're checking on him. He's doing good. Let's see here. Hang on a minute. Stu said, I think my comments don't show up, of course. No, they do. I may have missed it, though. Let me go back up here and look. Stu said, I couldn't do it. I'm an introvert. Yeah, I saw that. See, I'm seeing your comments. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yeah. No, they show up, at least in my end of it. Oh, what's up? And Andy showed up. Yeah, we were talking about you. Garrick was asking if you're not. He's like, I assume that Andy's not doing the show tonight. I was like, yeah, no, he's taking the summer off. He's a bum like that. He's laying in the sand and kicking it with the girl and the kids and stuff. So yeah, he's doing his thing, man. And Andy, I'll continue to cover this until you announce that you're going to come back on Fridays, and then I'll back off and just do my Sunday. Maybe I may do a Wednesday show or something. I don't know, or a Saturday and a Sunday. Hell, I don't know, but I'll do something different. PSCs, I feel like I missed out on so much since I was in KU. Yeah, it sucks, dude. Stu, Andy. Hell yeah, man. Let's see here. And sorry I missed your show Tuesday night, Andy. I was going to watch it. I had planned to watch it. I had it pulled up on the browser. It was sitting there waiting, but you know how you like put that 10:15 thing in. I'm like, dude, what the hell? It's like I was ready to go at like 9, but no, And then you had me waiting and stuff. And so I got busy doing stuff and I missed the damn show. So there's that. And then I realized it and I was like, oh shit. Uh, it was a good show. I made part of the kicker show though. Um, Stu said that comment didn't show up. And oh, it didn't show up. I'm as country as a cow. No, that ain't here, man. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one. Um, let's see here. Man, you guys are all freaking awesome. Um, so I've been playing around with the this big old subwoofer, guys. I don't know. Hang on, let me get back over here. Y'all are staring at that stupid thing over there, so you can't see it. It's down there. But here, let me pull the chat off for a second. So down here below, that big old 15-inch sub right down there, down there. I've been playing with that guy, and it's doing a good job. Here's the problem, though. So I'm still using this little tiny amp that's got like 50 watts on the sub channel and like, I don't know, 30 watts for the mids and highs. It's just a tiny amp. It does a really good job at like low to medium. But when you crank it, everything starts to kind of fall apart. The power just ain't there. And I've been editing videos and editing music and mixing and all that crap. And so I'm gonna break into this. I've got the amp board done. It's sitting over there, right over there against the wall. I just haven't hooked it up yet. And the reason I'm holding back and have been holding back is because I don't have a physical way to control the volume with that. And what I'm going to have to do is order a bass knob and a little deal to make it go to a 1/8, a 1/8 style, like an aux style plug, so that I can plug that into my computer, run it through a bass knob, and then into the DSP. That way I can control the whole thing with the bass knob. I can control the whole system. I can do that, or I could, and that's the logical way to do it. And that's what I got in my brain. So, but I got to get that in that little plug to do the aux to the RCAs, so I can do RCAs into the DSP, and then that will have the board set up. It'll be ready to go. Then I got 2 batteries I'm going to bring in here that I've had on maintenance charge, and they're going to be set up over here in the corner. And a charger that's going to be constantly giving them a little 1 amp charge. It'll be enough for what I do, right? And then I'll run the wires and everything, and then we'll have some power. So whenever I do crank it up, at least for a little bit, I'll have some authority, and I can, instead of sending that 50 watts, I'll be sending it, closer to 1500 watts whenever I go full tilt, which I'm not going to do, but of course I will, but not all the time. So yeah, it's insanity, man. It's what it is. It's insanity. But that's kind of what's going on with my car audio in the studio stuff. In case you guys have been wondering what's happening there. Let's see here. Good day, mate. I'm reading you guys' comments. Hang on. Oh, Andy, did you see Big Jeff over there on the subwoofer? That's Bony Jeff right there. That's Little Jeff. Let's see here. 50K, yeah. Yeah, I'm up to 50, like 52,000, I think. And we're steadily working it, guys. Is just keep pressing it forward. That's all you can do. Thank you very much. Amps running out of juice. Yeah, it dies. It does real good. I mean, well, the amp, yeah. If I had a bigger power supply, dude, let me tell you, the whole thing, right, that's powering the whole system has got a 5 amp power supply. 5 amps. That's not much power. All right. The wires going to that thing are much smaller than most speaker wires. much smaller. So it's a tiny little amp, a tiny little power supply, and it does so much. I'm really crazy impressed with how efficient the stuff is because it's actually quite loud, but up to a point, and then the bass just can't do anymore. And so I gotta bring the thunder up. That's what we got going on. Um, so yeah. What's up, Rob Richards? Nice to see you, man. Redecorating the audio room. Oh, what's Elfico talking about? Refrecorating, ref- we're refrecorating, refrecorating room. Oh man, living out with Andy's going on the bar. Hell yeah, man. Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Hell yeah. PSC, great big congratulations. Thank you. Michael Smith, what's up, man? What's up? So I know some of you guys are going to be there at the show tomorrow. That's what I'm looking forward to. Um, and I didn't really have any good subject matter to talk about tonight, so it's just a bullshit night. But did you guys see the review I did on this thing? This tiny little light. This thing is man, this company that sent me these lights, right? Olight. They it was just a random thing that popped up in my inbox, and I'm like, sure, I'll check them out. I wasn't expecting anything. I mean, it's a freaking flashlight. I wasn't expecting greatness, right? But oh my god, oh my god, this is the low setting, guys. This thing, you see it back here on the wall. That's the flood, right? All right, here's the let's see here. Hang on. That's the no that that's the flood right there. That's a low setting on the flood. It's crazy bright. And that's the spot. Let's see if I can show you that. Yeah. And again, this is the low setting. This thing is crazy bright, man. If you guys want a pocket flashlight, I mean, seriously, this has got a magnet in the back. It's got a clip. It's got a little flashy red light for you could clip this on you to let people know you're out riding a bicycle or whatever. Like we're going to ride a damn bicycle, but you got kids and shit, right? Um, $40. I've charged it once and I've been beating the day breaks off of it. And that same thing with this one. This one's more expensive. It's like 100-ish. But I haven't charged it but one time, and it is phenomenal. It's got that cool light too. It's got the flashlight, right? Check it out. It's also got the UV light, so you can see. You can see if anything biological is anywhere. Now, you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys. If you don't buy one of these, I understand. It's $100 freaking flashlight. Go buy you a rechargeable UV light somewhere on Amazon, whatever. Because being able to whip that sucker out and check places out, I've been having a blast with it. When I go to a restaurant, I walk up to the table and I go, and look at the table. If the table's clean, it's clean. It doesn't glow. But if there's anything on that table, food, spit, whatever, it's going to show up. It's going to glow. And if there's any spots on that table from that, they haven't cleaned that table. You need to call your waitress and have them go over there and clean the damn table, or bring you a rag and let you clean it. I don't care. The point is having that tool, and don't even turn it on in a bathroom in a public place. Don't even turn it on. Just don't. Because it's a freaking like a murder scene in a bathroom. Everything is glowing. But being able to use that to look at something you're about to touch or whatever, it's really cool. I found it extremely interesting. Go in a hotel room, check the bed, pillowcases, stuff like that, man. That one little simple thing is such a huge thing. Slapz clock. Do I need a Slapz clock? I would have to. I don't have any Slapz stuff that doesn't work, man. Everything works. I'd have to. Maybe I could get Alan to send me a blown cone or something because I don't have one. I haven't blown anything up, but I could do one. Oh, interesting concept. First, you have to have a dead cone. So, just don't have one yet. They all work. Uh, Stu said I got my dash back together in my Silverado last night. Finally, sweet man. Glad to see that. We're gonna be rocking, banging, slanging. Hell yes, Stu. Dubby said, "What's up, Dubby? I haven't even spoke to you yet, man. I'm sorry. I'm all slacking and stuff. It is what it is." Franco Quaid put it in the center console. He said, "Put the center console in." Yeah. We're gonna see. We'll see. Stu, not yet. Let's see here. How hard was it to make? I'm trying to get down the list. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. Wanted to make one for the 06 F-150. Probably next summer for that. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, do what you got to do. I had thought of a really cool way to make a center console that looked factory. But could do other stuff. And you just take your busted old center console that you've got, cover it with packing tape, and then like some foil, tape it down real good, and then fiberglass over the top of the whole thing. Fiberglass it, right? Completely cover that sucker. And then you take the console out and you go to the spot where the console is supposed to sit, and you do the same thing with the carpet and shit there, and then you fiberglass that. Then you join those two together, and now you've got a completely hollow shell that's shaped exactly like the bottom and the top of your center console. So with that, you before you combine it together, you go in there and reinforce the crap out of everything, make it super strong, put whatever speaker holes you want, do whatever you want to do inside, join it all together, reinforce it some more, And then you can take the hardware off your original console and mount it onto this new fake console, and whatever you want to put on there. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, it would blend in really well and have all the functionality of something completely custom. Let's see here. Let me go back up. I'm missing. Okay. Let's see. Oh, make a mold. Yeah, exactly. And if you make a mold the same way, well, you could turn it into a mold. You could take that fiberglass and you could literally pour stuff in it and mold it that way. But basically, I was using the original console as the inside part of the mold, and then your product would be the fiberglass. And if you take some of that 6-pound 2-part foam and pour it in and laying it down on certain angles so that it's flat, so that you could pour that in there and create more solid stuff in there. You could put something inside, like for example, let's say you wanted to have inside your console, you wanted to have a couple of 8-inch subs in there. Okay. So you do your cutouts for the subs, and then you take something like a little ice cream bucket or a plastic bowl of some kind, container that's big enough to fit the sub in, right? Put that down in the console, use the hot glue to attach it to the inside of that fiberglass at the hole that you made, and then you pour your 2-part foam in there to fill in that cavity around it, and then you've created a chamber in there that that'll be sealed, right? It's not using that 2-part foam and fiberglass together is a nasty combination to do just all kinds of crazy stuff. You just got to think outside the box whenever you're working on figuring these things out. I mean, everyone can take, well, not everyone, I shouldn't say that, but it's common to use wood. You build the sides, you build the top, you do the sanding and all that stuff, but it's never going to fit exactly right. It's going to be, straight where it should be curved. It's going to be an angle where it should be a curve. It's not going to fit exactly right. But if you're starting out with a fiberglass mold, it's going to fit 100% exactly right. So you can do a lot of different stuff that you can't necessarily do. That's very difficult for you to do with wood. Franco said, I got an 8 U series sub. U's are really good with small airspace. To be perfectly honest, I'm going to tell you guys, if I'm going to buy a Sundown subwoofer, I would either buy a U series subwoofer or the V3, the 3. It's the 3. I can't remember what the nomenclature is, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to like 8 now or whatever. It'd be the 3. I can't remember. It's XV3 or VX3 or whatever it is. The 3, I was looking through these once, and that's the one where all the shit comes into line. Everything is where it needs to be at the best price. That'd be the one I'd go for. That one or the U's. The U's are just tough, and they play in fairly small airspaces. As long as you can fit the damn thing in there, it doesn't mind being in a small airspace. Yeah, console. I know, I got it. I blur out spelling errors because I do it all the time, man. Spelling errors and typos. Stu said, fiberglass resin is the stickiest stuff on the planet. It is extremely. It's not the stickiest, though. The stickiest stuff on the planet is that bed liner that I used in the Tahoe. That shit's sticky, man. Look here. If you're going to work with bed liner, especially bed liner, I cannot stress this enough. It's bed liner or fiberglass, either one. You absolutely must have a good pair of throwaway gloves. And I mean more than one. You need a stack of them, and you need a whole lot of chip brushes because you're going to burn through those things. You can get away with like a couple of mixing cups because you can let that shit set up in there with the brush in it. And then when it sets up hard, you can pull the whole chunk out of the cup and you can reuse that cup. But you're going to burn through chip brushes and they're going to burn through gloves. And every time you even think about touching something, put the gloves on. If not, you're going to be wearing this shit for days. Like for days. A good bed liner, the real shit, not the spray can stuff, but the real stuff, man, that stuff attaches to your body and it's like an extra arm. It's a piece of skin. It doesn't want to come off. You literally have to shed skin to lose that stuff. It's crazy. Stu said, wood is great until your cup holders start dripping sweat. Yeah, no doubt. Then they turn all kinds of bad. Yeah, cup holders. And you got to have a cup holder, man, because that ain't worth a damn if you don't have a cup holder. I mean, this is a key piece of gear. This thing is, within arm's reach of me everywhere I go. If there ain't somewhere for me to set that down, I'm not staying. I'm going somewhere else. I'm just keeping it real, man. Let's see here. It does not come off, dude. It does not. You said use the V3, SAV3? Probably, yeah. I think it's what it is. Um, I mean, all of the ones above that are awesome, but that one is where shit gets real. It's like you're going to get 75% of what you're going to get at the top dog for a whole lot less money. That's the guy. It's got good excursion. It's got all the stuff. It's got like 60 millimeters of excursion. It's a great subwoofer. If you're wanting wind and lows. Now, all this shit I'm saying is specific. Every subwoofer has its job. Okay. The U series is really good at making a shit ton of SPL at a high note and uh, a small fourth, like a small sill-sided fourth. If you're wanting to do something like that and play 60 hertz, 50 hertz, 60, 70, 80 at stupid high SPL and like a really small sill-sided fourth with a big loading chamber kind of a setup, the U series is the subwoofer, period. It's a good go-to. Can't bitch about it. Let's see here. Stu said it needs gasoline to wash off. I'm not even sure gasoline to get that shut off, dude. Oh, that reminds me, man. That reminds me. I was talking about in one of my videos about using fiberglass to fix a gas tank on a truck. And this guy commented, and he said, ha ha ha, very funny. You can't do that. Well, so when I was getting ready to do this, I was a teenager. And I wasn't a teenager. I was maybe 22, something like that. It was a little bit past my teens, just a little bit. Got this truck from my dad. It was my grandpa's, and it was a 75 Chevy pickup, square body. The gas tank on the front part, it mounts on the side. Okay. It mounts on the side. Anyway, on the front part, trying to think about this. It's close to the wheel. The wheel would throw stuff up and hit the tank, but they got this plastic shield on the end of the tank. That plastic shield had filled up with mud and dirt and was rusted the whole end of that tank out. When I got it, it had like probably a quarter size hole in the gas tank. And then whenever I peeled all that crap away and got that shell and got it all cleaned off, and then after I started, poking and grabbing and banging on it to get all of the completely worthless metal away down to where there's actually some good structural metal, you could have thrown a football through that hole. It was huge. It was like a 6 or 7 inch hole. It's massive. And so I was telling my relatives, because I lived out in the country. I mean, there was no internet. There was none of this shit. You didn't talk to people unless they lived right next to you. And that was all kinfolk, everybody there. I'm like, well, I'm going to fix this hole. I'm going to use fiberglass. Or fiberglass won't work. I'm like, well, I can't afford to go buy a gas tank. I mean, so, I mean, I'm going to try the fiberglass. So I got the fiberglass, and it was, there's 2 different kinds. It was a polyester, I think. It's the Bondo fiberglass kit. Got it from like a AutoZone or some shit. I don't remember where. It was one of those auto parts stores. And I took and cleaned. What I did was I filled this gas tank up with rocks. I put a bunch of rocks in there, and I put some tape over the hole. And then I took the rocks and I just shook the tank. Shook it using those rocks. And those rocks was knocking all that stuff out of the inside of the tank, all the rust and all the crud. And it was beating it kind of like sandpaper inside. Shake. And then you pour it all out and you look in there and You do that again. You do it. I did that a bunch of times, and I got it all cleaned out. Then I took sandpaper and I cleaned all around the outside of the hole. Then I put a layer of fiberglass on, one layer of the mat, and then I put that was a small piece that just covered the hole, maybe a couple of inches around. Then I put a big ass piece on there that covered the hole, and it went like 5 or 6 inches in all directions past the hole. And then I put some chop mat all over the damn place, everywhere on the edges and shit. And I fiberglassed that down. And then I sanded that down. And I had this stuff that I bought at the parts store. It was like a undercoat stuff for fender wells. And I used the whole damn can on that tank to cover that whole tank with this rubberized coating. I cleaned up the tank straps and I coated them and painted them and coated them with that stuff. Put it all back in. The thing never leaked a drop. In years I had that truck. I never leaked a drop out of that tank. So depending on what type of fiberglass you have, the resin is going to dictate whether or not it can withstand gasoline, direct gasoline. But that specific resin would absolutely did not give a rat shit about that gasoline. It did not care at all. So point is, boy, it's a long way to get to the point, right? The point is, if you get this shit on your hands and it dries good, gas ain't going to get it off. I think it has to do with what type of resin it is, but there's two different primary types of resin out there, and one of them, I'm pretty sure it's polyester, is very resilient to gasoline. So W said, use balsa wood. Be a man. Be a man. Get a pair, man. Grow a pair. Let's see here. Emmett, what's up, man? Nice to see you tonight. Get the silicone basting brushes when you fiberglass. The resin comes right off. Infinitely reusable. Huh. Cool. I'll have to keep that in mind, man. That's a good point. Good tip. Good tip. If we go to have a single JL 8W3 laying around, is it sufficient for a small front sub and an SUV? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The 8W3 will handle a small SUV. Yeah. If you want to do, you could even do a 6.5. The key thing with getting that sub in the front to sound right. Okay, so it all depends on your specific application. And I've played around with quite a few different front subs in an SUV. Right now, I'm running one in a sealed enclosure. And the enclosure is literally just big enough to put the subwoofer in there. It wouldn't fit if it was any tighter dimensions in any way. It just barely physically fits in the box. But it's a little JL. I think it might be a W3 actually. I think it's a 10 W3 if I'm not mistaken. I could be lying about the W3 though. I think it is. Anyway, the best option though, the best option that I've found, if you're wanting it to be your sub, right? You want it to be the subwoofer. Specifically now, if you want it for front bass and you got a big subwoofer in the back, then disregard this next part. But if you're wanting it to be your subwoofer for your system, use a ported enclosure and have the sub as close to as far front as you can get it. Wherever that is, it doesn't matter. Have it as far forward as you can get it. And depending on where that ends up being, if you have to put it on the top or on the side or something, then have the port firing forward toward the underneath of the dash. You want as much sound projection towards the under the dash area as you can get it. And you want it to be as far forward as possible. If you're using it for a secondary sub, then use a sealed enclosure. It's going to be really good. But if it's going to be your jam, your sub, then yeah, use a ported enclosure. Tune it where you want it. Don't try to tune it too low though. Keep it like in the high 30s, mid 30s, because you're not going to get any super low extension out of it really. But what you will find that the corner loading up under where the floor meets the dash, that corner loading acts the same as it does in the trunk. When you have a subwoofer firing towards the back of the trunk or in the back of a hatch firing toward the rear, how it corner loads and you get all that bass. The same thing happens under your dash. And not only are you going to get all that bass and the deep awesomeness, richness of it, but it's going to be coming from the front, which means that your soundstage is going to be completely front, which is awesome if you're an SQ guy. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, sure, it'll be no problem. Just get the box right. The box is going to be the absolute key to making that work like it's supposed to. It's going to work more or less no matter how you do it. But to get that 100%, the box is the absolutely the key to making that work. Stu said, I looked into hot spray bed liner machine with the entry level. Yeah, it's stupid. Buy the roll-on shit, dude. I think I posted some on the shit that I used this last time. Oh my god, that stuff is hard as a rock. But tip, if you use bed liner, so once you open the can, that's it. Okay, you use it all. Tomorrow it's going to be hard. It's not going to be a thing you can break open the can again. It don't matter how much of it you use. Do everything that right now. Okay, so make sure everything is ready to go. You got all your shit covered. You got everything taped off. You got your gloves. You got extra gloves. You got a brush to add to get into the little cracks. Got your rolling pan and a roller. Set up maybe a couple of rollers extra, so you can switch them out. All that shit's ready because it starts to cure as soon as you open the can. Okay, and you open it, you shake it, and get it all agitated, pissed off, and then you open it, and then you pour it in the pan, and you roll the shit on. It's going to be messy. It's going to fly everywhere. When the roller's rolling, it's going to fling shit off. So you got to have coverage of everything in the area. It all has to be thoroughly covered. The dash, the windshield, whatever, everything has to be covered because it's going to fling off of there and stick to everything. But you roll it on, get your brush, cut it in, get it exactly the way you want it in that one setting. There is no stop in the middle and come back in 2 hours. It's going to start already having problems at that point. The shit sets up. And tomorrow, if you have any left in that can, it's just going to be a solid rock. It ain't going. It's done. So, yeah, that's my tip for using it. But it works really good. The roll-on stuff works really, really good. And when you go to buy your pan, they got the pan with the plastic inserts that goes in there. That's the one you want. That works great. Those plastic inserts are cheap. You buy like a stack of them and you get the one pan and just plop it in there. Remember, you're not going to get to do this in 2 shots, but you still want to have your pan left over at the end because, like I said, when this shit sets up, it's hard. It's not going to wash out of the pan. It's never going to wash out of the pan. It's never going to wash off the roller. It's a done deal. But it's good stuff. Let's see here. Scott Gibson said, I have a set of 6.5-inch depth bounce Neos. They are 200 to 1400 hertz. So they're like Arnold's. What mid-bass driver would I pair with those? Well, it depends on what you're. There's like any old person, it depends. Um, it's kind of complicated. If you want to stay in the Deathbots family, um, at 200 hertz, just about any small subwoofer is going to play up into the like 160 range, and they would probably pair okay with a small sub. It just needs to be a light coned small subwoofer. Um, you need to have something that's really efficient. So look for a subwoofer, a small subwoofer that has, like in the 90s of efficiency, uh, uh, and has a fairly light cone, maybe a couple hundred watts power handling. Usually is a good sign. The inexpensive subwoofer in that size and that power range is typically going to be a good starting point. And then if it's got a nice high FS, like a 50 or 60 or 40 to 60 hertz FS and a good high efficiency, it should be able to play up into the 200s and be a good match for that. But, and there's not a specific, notice I didn't point you at a specific brand um, because there's not one. Um, Not really. It's just you're looking for a specific piece of gear. And if you're trying to match it up to Deathbots, just use Deathbots as your first fence, and then find something inside uh, that house, that brand that fits that basic criteria. That's my suggestion. Also, depending on how much power you're going to put on those, you may you may be able to play them quite low. Um, so even if their frequency response is rated at 200 to 14 kilohertz, as you said, say they're 500 watt RMS drivers. I don't know. I'm just throwing that number out there. Dropping that power down will allow you to play outside of those perimeters a little bit. So you can probably dig a little lower than that. And also, it depends on what enclosure you're putting them in, too. If you're putting them in a complete open baffle, like a door where there's no restriction, then you're going to want to stay in that general range. But if you're putting them in a contained area where they have some back pressure on them, you can probably go a little bit lower. So that's the best I can tell you, man, because I have to look at the specific drivers. But they sound like really killer drivers, though. Um, let's see here. Sunflash resin. Yeah. Sunflash is the shit, guys. If you don't know what Sunflash resin or SMD, if you're going to use Sunflash resin, I priced like 4 different ones, and SMD's brand was only a little bit more than theirs, and so I would just go with that. The Steve Mead shit. Basically, the resin doesn't set up ever until it gets UV light on it. It's killer, but you have to work inside. That's the catch. That's why I didn't get Sunflash resin for my Tahoe. It's because I was working on shit that was outside and there was sunlight, even splash sunlight, like reflected off of stuff. We'll start setting that. So if you've got like a closed in garage where you can shut the door and you can use just normal lighting in the garage, great. It's great. But if you're on a carport situation or you got something where you've got a lot of sunlight that comes in, that's how you see, and there's no way to block that and relight it, Sunflash ain't going to work in that environment. But if you got the right environment, you can sit there and work on it for hours and hours and hours, and then expose it to UV light, and it sets up instantly. It's great stuff, but it's dependent on your specific situation. It doesn't work for every situation. Blake, what's up, Blake? Uh, the biggest ones you can fit Ford. Yeah, fair. That's fair. I'll agree with that. Um, let's see here. Scott said, I was considering the new sundown ones as they go down to 70 hertz, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, I'd have to just research, man. Like I said, you're looking for something that's got a pretty high FS, relatively. And a small subwoofer is going to have a high FS. Um, a light cone is going to, a thin cone, something that moves real easily. So you might even be looking at pro audio stuff. A pro audio mid bass would be a good call for playing lower. Actually, let's go take a look over here. Let's go back over to the thingamajigger here, and actually, I'm going to look at mid bass, and I may be able to recommend a Slapz driver. I think you said, did you specifically say an 8? Let me see here. Okay, depending on your situation, um, what you can fit. This would be this would be the jam right here. If you can fit a 12, um, that would be a solid choice. Um, and that plays down to 45 hertz. So it's going to cover that range no problem. Uh, yeah, it's nasty. 45 hertz FS, 0.34 QTS is going to like the lows. So yeah, this would be a good choice if you're not brand specific, and that's also the right price. So that's carbon fiber cone, carbon fiber dust cap. Yeah, wicked little mid bass driver right here. That would be a good choice. But if you're stuck using something smaller, I'm using the 10 in my Tahoe right now. This guy right here. But they also have the 8s and the 8s in the mid bass. And the 6.5s, I wouldn't recommend. I really wouldn't recommend the 6.5s. Um, their FS, their frequency range is just not low enough to suit what you're trying to do, and be perfect. It would be the 8s, the 10s, or these 12. This 12 right here. If I'm going to recommend, yeah, I mean, here's the thing, guy. Look, this is a wicked speaker. Go price something that's like this, something that has these qualities, these characteristics. Price it anywhere, it's going to be 5 times that price. So for the money, that is definitely a solid choice, and that's the premium. That's the top dog right there. Wicked speaker, man. Wicked speaker. If you want something to play mid bass and get down, look at the spider on that thing. It's huge. I mean, that's nasty, dude. You just can't fault that. That's nasty. Um, so yeah, and of course I got a discount code there. Use CAE, save 10%. So you even get more money back, man. It's good stuff. You can load up with those. Those would handle. Was it like 12K? I think. Oh no, it wasn't that. Was it that high? Let me go back and peek real quick. It was 3.4. So they're at 45 hertz to 3.4K. That would handle everything from hell. You could run that with a tweeter all by itself, and it would play the whole damn thing. I mean, it plays down to 45 hertz and up to plus 3000. That's tweeter range. That speaker there would cover the whole spectrum. Let's see here. What's up, Kenneth? I made a very crude but solid amp rack the other day. Got my damn amp up, off away from the carpet. Yeah, baby. Now it's about 2 inches or so above the wooden bottom I used to mount it to. Awesome. One of the tips I can throw out there, if you guys are when you're cutting power wire, your alt gauge wire when you're stripping off the ends and shit. Save the little pieces that you pull off. If you pull them off in one chunk, if you don't cut them down the side, those little guys, those little noodles, I call them, because they're really good for making flexible feet for your amp. So when you strip off that little inch piece at the end, to hook up the wire, save them, put them in a box. You can dig through there and find 4 of those suckers that are, or cut them to fit and put those down under an amp, and they make a great foundation for your amp to space it because they have a squish and everything. It's really cool. Little tip: I save everything, guys. I'm a recycling bitch. Just I don't care. I'm all about making use of every single thing. I'll reuse screws over and over and over until they won't work anymore, or until I put them into something that gets glued together where I can't get to them anymore. I don't throw nothing away. I save packing material. I've used packing material so many times in builds. Ricky, what's up, man? What do you think of 215s in the back seat of a car? That sounds like, party to me, man. If you're talking about just putting them in a box and setting them in the back seat, that's how we all started, man. That's ghetto as shit, but it works. But a cooler technique could be to, mount them in the trunk, put them in the trunk of a car. But if you don't have a trunk, put them in a hatchback. If you can't do that, there is always one other option. Well, technically 2. One is doing an infinite baffle in the area where the back of the seat is. So you take the seat out, the back of the seat out, and you just have the bottom of the seat in the car. You build your baffle. It needs to be thick. It needs to be thick. Like 2.5, 3 inches thick minimum. And you mount your subs there, but then you take the back of the seat that you had before and get yourself some 1/4 inch Luan and go over there to the car, get it cut to fit to where it's shaped the right size to fit where the back seat did. You can use the seat back to get that shape. Then you throw it in the car, take your router and route out the holes so they match the exact to the baffle. And then you take that seat apart, and just the padding and keep the padding and the upholstery. Get rid of the framework. All that shit needs to go. And then put that piece in there and glue it and staple it. You'll have to cut out the hole and then leave the hole a little bit too small in the upholstery. Leave that hole like an inch or 2 inches too small, and then put splits in it, and then put it down on top of your wood, curve the pieces under, and then staple it and glue it, and create a seat with 2 holes in it. And you put that seat back in there, bam. Now you got your subwoofers firing through the seat, with the seat still there. And then you get some of the inexpensive plastic grills and put over the subs, and you could still mostly use the back seat, well, to some degree anyway. Make a very cool deal. And you can do this a bunch of ways. This is just how I'm throwing it out there. Yeah. Who uses the back seat? Screw the damn back seat. Throw that thing in the weeds, man. Who needs that? I love El Fuego. I have a JL 8W3. I'm not using Zelle. There you go. That's a good subwoofer, man. It's a great little subwoofer. They sound so good. I got one in the closet over there in a box with an amp built into the box that I built into the thing. Yeah, it's a computer speaker setup, but it uses an 8W3. So I need help with an amp rack, amp mounting ideas. I'm installing a relay soon to power extras like fans and so on. Yeah. So here's the thing I'll throw out there, guys. If you are doing multiple amplifiers, like 5, 6, 10 amplifiers, amplifier requires the tiniest amount of power to turn it on. It's super tiny. Um, you could probably turn on 20 amplifiers for the power cost of one relay. So if you're running multiple amplifiers, just run them off of the same signal. It's not gonna, it's like if it's coming from your stereo or whatever, just use that. It'll be fine. They'll come on. But if you're going to run lights, or if you're going to run fans, anything like that, that's a different story. You definitely want a relay. If you don't know how to wire up a relay, you need to learn to wire a relay, because the relays can do everything. The world can run on relays. Relays are basically how computers work. Millions and billions of tiny relays. It's just an electrically powered switch. And if you can think of it, you can make relays do it. Like, for example, let's say you've got a system, an alarm system in your car. When you arm the alarm, okay, let's say that your alarm is old school, and when you arm it, it just arms, and that's it. You could even fix it up to where whenever it honks the horn, right, the toot, to where that signal could go to a set of relays and roll all your windows up when you arm the alarm, or anything like this. Anything you can dream up, you can make it happen with relays. Learn how to use a damn relay. If you don't know, learn. It will make so many doors open for you for so many crazy creative shit. Raptor liner. No, I did not use Raptor liner. Hang on a minute. I'll pull it up. I have to go back here. Amazon, Amazon. Amazon has the wonderful function where you can go back and go maybe back far enough. Okay, that's the resin, polyester resin. That is that's the epoxy. Oh, I don't know if it's going to go far enough. It don't go far enough back. That sucks. That 6-pound expanding foam pour kit that I ordered, never got that son of a bitch. That shit disappeared. That was $70, man. Don't know what happened to it. It's very aggravated. But I did get my fiberglass. I don't remember the name of it, but it's in the video, guys. If you go back and watch my earlier videos, you can, with the Tahoe fiberglass videos, it's in the video for sure. So, but it wasn't the one you mentioned. Pen liners is what I use, and coating boxes. Yeah, for real, dude. Those pen liners are awesome. No problem, man. I did my best. Let's see here. What are y'all's thoughts on? Okay, what are y'all's thoughts on running 3-way active versus 2-way active front stage? If you've got a space for them, you're going to get a better result. Okay. All right. So the thing that differentiates. Let me put this out there. The deciding factor on whether to run a 2-way or a 3-way. In my opinion, the deciding factor is whether you've got enough space or area to mount the middle speaker up high. If you've got somewhere to put that up high, it's going to benefit you, right? If you've got a place to put it in sails, dash, A-pillars, whatever, if you can put your 3 or your 2.5 or whatever it is up here somewhere, if you can do that, then yes, three-way, 100%. If you're going to be mounting that thing down somewhere where it's not optimal, don't just go the two-way and put the tweeters up high, because you're not going to gain anything from it if it's mounted down low. You're not going to gain anything from it at all if it's mounted down low. Go with a two-way. Then DSP it so that it sounds as good as you can get it. The beauty of a three-way is having the ability to put your 350, 400 hertz up high as your eyeballs, up on the dash level, to where your sound stage is lifted and in front of you. And you've also got a clean line of sight to those speakers, so it can get straight to your ear without having to go through shit like your leg and the seat and all that. You want direct line of sight with them. If you can get them into that position where they're up high and you got direct line of sight with each speaker, then yes, a three-way would be best. If not, two-way is going to work just as good. That's my opinion. I haven't done both in a lot of different setups. Nick, what's up, man? Thank you for all the info and advice. Hey, I'm doing the best I can. I appreciate it. I do. I give everybody the best I can give, and I try not to give out anything I try not to advise people on anything that I don't at least have a grasp of. Two-way front stage is all dependent on how the tweeters can play from the SQ point of view. Two-way sets that do very well. Yeah, like I said, that's my opinion, is if you can get those threes up high and a nice clear line of sight, then you're going to benefit strongly from a three-way. If not, then just run a two-way. Yes. Like I said, yes. As long as you can get it up high and get it to where it's pointed, where you can see it without anything in between. You're going to get a ton out of it. Yes. Is it worth building pods for your A-pillars? Yes. If you don't want to build pods for your A-pillars, but you still want the awesomeness, customspeakerpods.com. Discount code CAE. Most likely going to have pods to fit on your A-pillars. Allow you to run those drivers up there without doing hardly any work. Very easy to put in. Does a great job. customspeakerpods.com. That's a solution for a whole lot of that kind of problem. Get in the Miz. Stu said, yep. All the shit I just said. 100% agree with you, man. Anything from 2.75 to 4. I've got a pair of 2.75 sundowns over there that I've had. I've run in a couple of videos and stuff. I've had them sitting on the shelf for a long time. And those things will straight up play tweeter frequencies. They're actually really wide band drivers. Like stupid. I didn't expect them. I put them in a box for a video. I had them in a small cardboard box, and just one of them. And I was sending full range to it at very low power. It was like 10, 15 watts. But wow, this little thing was producing some bass, man. And it sounded like there was straight up a tweeter hooked up, and it was a pretty impressive little driver. Very good range, and they were like on sale. That's why I got them. Somebody put it up on that they were on sale, and I went and grabbed them on sundown. And it was like $20 or $30 for the pair. I think they're normally like $40 or some shit. Little 2.75s sound phenomenal though. Great sounding little drivers. It'd be excellent if you're really limited on your A-pillar space. That's my next step. Have to order the additional amp and pods for the A-pillars and DSP for the active crossover. Yeah, and be careful about running if you do decide to go with a passive crossover for something, there's nothing wrong with that. You lose control. You don't have the control because you can't manipulate shit. It's just stuck. But the big thing is, passive crossovers are really bad about interjecting noise into your system. They they generate a magnetic field, and if you're running that passive crossover somewhere close to your speaker wires, like if you got wires running beside it and stuff, or if you got your signal wires running beside your passive crossover, it can absolutely put engine whine in your shit, and you won't be able to figure out where the hell it's coming from. It's passive crossovers. Just always treat a passive crossover like you would an amplifier. Like, put it away from the shit, right? Just keep it away from the other shit. Treat it like a noise source, because it is. That's what I'm trying to say. How many explodes would it take to fill my Tahoe up and finally see the alternator light glow? Asking for a friend. I got that. My explode is up, guys. Look, I'm repping. It's right up here. It's right. It's right. It's right there. That's a Sony Explode 12 up there on the wall. And then there's a kicker sub down here that little Boney Jeff's got his hand on the kicker sub. He's holding on to it for dear life. I had to actually put, if you look right there, right, oh shit, so we're disorienting. There's a little wire management thing that I had to put in the wall to hold him on the sub, because he kept leaning. He would just slowly lean, and I'd look over and he'd stop, and I'd look away and he'd start leaning again. And he would just slowly, and I looked over, and finally he was over there, and he looked like he was about to throw up. He was leaned over so far. Yeah, I was like, Jeff, are you okay, man? Are you okay? It was at that moment that the son of a bitch fell off the subwoofer on his face. And I lost it, dude. I wish that would have been on camera, because it was fucking funny as hell. But so yeah, I had to attach him to the wall, because he gets on a bender and just falls off the subwoofer. Oh, let's see. Two Trinities on Ricky Froggy. What's up, man? Said it was two Trinities on a Ruthless 10K. Okay, that for the sub in the back seat. See, I'm trying to keep up. I know I'm way behind. Let's see. The guy who was doing all the work for my setup is going to put two 15s in the back seat, but he sold me his C-Max. So we're going to do the setup in my car. We have the same car. Okay. Okay. All right, hold on. Hang on, Jeff. Don't fall. It's crazy shit. He's going to put two 15s in the back seat. It seems I'm missing something in this. Two Trinity H's. That's a brutal freaking combination on a Ruthless 10K. That's a nasty combination. I agree with the gear. C-Max is a good battery, but it's overpaid. You're getting it used, and you're probably getting a good deal on it, so that's cool. But buying them new is just overpaying for less than you can get from Trunk Thunder Lithium. But not saying it's not a good setup. It's just they charge you too much and you buy it new. Buying it used, go for it. Get all that high-end stuff. Somebody else eat that. But as far as where it's located, I'd have to see it. I need that. And I can't imagine if somebody had one built to go in the back seat. I'm trying to figure out exactly how that's planning out. So give me some more information about that. The visuals just ain't working. Stu. Let's see here. That's how I set up my Mustang. Oh, okay. Um, okay. So yeah, it's a Mustang. That's key. See, that's key. Mustangs are the back area doesn't have no back. It's yeah. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you did that. You did the thing. Yeah. Um, yeah. Slam that like button, man. Y'all can't be. You know, put a put a pair. Fuego said, put a pair of old school 6x9s in the dash. Call it good, dude. Done it. Done it. I've done 4x10s in the dash. Actually, sounded really good. To be honest, guys, I have done that. Yes, I've done 6x9s in the dash. That was a completely shit install, though. There was no dash. There was no dash. It was like a metal frame up there, and we just put them up there and screwed them to the metal frame. It was one of those. It was one of those things, you know. I could tell you the story about the $100 car, which is this vehicle, but the $100 car that was a weekend, and it was hilarious. But yeah, I put two 6x9s up there. But I've done two 4x10s in the dash and made it look good and sound good, and worked out really well. But you got to do a lot of modifying to get them to work, but they'll fit. I mean, usually there's not much thickness, and they cover a pretty low frequency. Just don't try to ask them to play loud at a low frequency, and you'll be okay. What do I think about American-based Godzilla subwoofer line? Yeah, Godzilla is good. The Godfather is good. Godzilla is good. 15s are what I'm looking at. What I'm going with. I wasn't sure. Um, I'd have to compare them price wise. Let me give you guys a tip. A little tip. I can't speak heavily on this because there's an NDA involved. Okay, there's an NDA, Non-Disclosure Act, involved. But if you're looking at buying subwoofers, how am I wording this? I'm wording this very carefully. If you're looking at buying, what is this month? So June, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah. If you're looking at buying budget-ish subwoofers or non-budget subwoofers, wait until mid-September. Things are coming. That's all I can say. Okay? And I'm going to skip past that and continue on. I had two-way, but like you said, it's down the doors. Yep. Had to mount a small driver between the treater and the door. Yeah. You want to try to incorporate the dash, man. That's the key. At least get it up on the A pillar. I have done threes in the very top of the door. And a Ford, was the Ford Edge? Yeah, I had some threes, and I just took a hole saw and just straight up cut a hole in the freaking door up at as high up as I could get it, and I mounted the little suckers in there. And that actually did pretty good. The only problem with that was it put one driver like right here and another driver way over there. Ideally, you want them more in front of you because the further forward you get your driver, the ratio gets better. So even though one is the same distance, like this wall over here is the same distance from your ear, right? No matter how far forward you go, but as you go further forward, it gets further away, right? Well, over here, the same speaker is over here on the other side, right? As it's moving forward, it doesn't really change distance because it's so far, it's over here. It's moving more lateral to your ear. So whenever you push both of those forward, the further forward you get, the less difference there is between the distances, percentage wise, right? So that's why I said try to mount them up here somewhere, um, as far into that as you can get it. Sometimes bouncing it off the windshield works really good. It depends on the windshield. It depends on the frequencies, and it depends on the windshield. Some angles and some windshields work really well. Others are hot shit, and you don't really know until you try. Um, I always experiment. If I'm going to do an SQ build, I'll grab up a pair of computer speakers. My favorite thing in the world to use for shit. Get a pair of computer speakers with a little subwoofer, right? Just a little freaking Logitech, whatever. Run the extension cord out there. Take your phone out there, plug it into your phone, the little aux cable, whatever, or Bluetooth, however you can get it going. And then you take those little computer speakers and just put them in different places. And aim them different directions. Experiment with that. You'll find that you can glean a whole lot of information from that. And whenever you do it, okay, take pictures of where they are and make notes on the pictures and put them away. Write down shit. The difference between goofing off and doing science is writing it down. Okay? So write it down. Record it, make a record. And whenever you start trying to figure out exactly what you're going to do, you can look back and go, well, I got this kind of sound from this direction and this from this direction. You can get a lot of very useful information with a pair of crappy computer speakers and a little subwoofer. And also, you might be amazed at how good that little trio will sound in the front of a car. Just saying. I had a setup like that running in my big truck for 2 years, and it sounded phenomenal. Just some computer speakers. Big truck's easier, though. It's just a completely different world. Yeah, CAE, man. That's my code for custom speaker pods. CAE. Save that money. 10%. And whatever you buy there, they sell other shit. They got speakers and stuff there too. All that. Anything that you buy, that 10% code works on everything. So now let's see here. Jeff got a spirit inside him. Yeah, Jeff. You're gonna get me to thinking about him falling off that subwoofer again. Oh shit. Franco Quaid. It might be tequila. No. No. It's not the tequila. He can't drink my tequila. He can't drink it. He can't reach it. It's too far away. He had the Jack Daniels bottle over there, though. Let's see here. Hyundai Sonata. Okay. That's the vehicle. Gotcha. I don't know nothing about that car without looking it up. Though. Front wave, back wave, all the ways. Surfboard amps help with the waves from the bass. Yeah. You guys are a hoot, man. Step 1, my new bill, verify that my car insurance covers fires. Yeah, no doubt. Let's see here. Stu said mid-ranges and the doors generally give you soundstage. That's a bit too wide, yeah. And also you lose focus on the center again. Yep. 100%. Doors are they exactly what he just said. Yeah. And they also tend to create that 200 hertz null, which every SQ guy hates, the 200 hertz null. Why do they do that? It always happens. And Stu, the best way to fix that null is adding a front sub. That's how you do it. Tune that bitch high, and then you can pretty much DSP it out that way. Godzilla 15s are 4,700 watts RMS. Yeah. Yeah. No. I wouldn't do that, man. I would, if I found some for somebody was selling like 2 of them for like $500 or $600, yeah, a secondhand kind of a deal. But No, I wouldn't pay that much. Not when there's other options out there. Oh, you're going to run both of them on a Depon Atom 12.5K. Nice amp. Crazy powerful amp. Yeah, hold up, man. You heard what I said earlier? That's kind of key. So I can't tell y'all anything else about it, but things is coming, baby. Just know that, okay? And for now, it is time to get the duck out of here. Love you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Out here banging up and down the street, slamming it to the ground. Big subwoofers are getting loud. You can feel the booming sound. Getting ready to go. Got it shined up for the show. Hours charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home. Another one bites the dust. Wires are glowing and the amps smoking. Subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass slamming. Gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go. 20 hertz in the floating air. Sparks are flying, voice cores are frying, and the smoke is in the air. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust.